Those Were the Days is filmed before a live internet audience.
Hello and welcome to Smurf Were the Days, the Smurfcast where we look at old Smurf through a Smurfy lens but with Smurfic eyes. I am your Smurf this week, Crafty Smurf, and I am joined by the Smurfiest co-Smurfs a Smurf could ask for. We have Artsy Smurf, Audie.
Okay, so there's 100 Smurfs here, plus Papa Smurf. Let's help them out for a change. Do the head count. There's Brainy Smurf, Hefty Smurf, Smurfette, Clumsy, Grouchy, Greedy, Jokey, Chef Smurf, Vanity, Handy, Scaredy, Sloppy, Harmony, Painter. Then regular Smurf, normal Smurf, Blue Smurf, other Blue Smurf, other Blue Smurf, that Smurf, ordinary Smurf. 1, 2, skip a few. Yeah, there's 100 of us here. Smurf job, every Smurf.
We have Wholesome Smurf, Steven.
Well, I was going to come up with a really great intro, and then I started watching this show and thought I dropped acid, and then I went on a really weird trip for a little while through a land of mushrooms and weird old dudes who make bait for people. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. This is going nowhere. Thank you for having me.
And Beardy Smurf, Travis.
Honestly, watching the show back, I really identified with Gargamel. If I had my house in the woods and there was a bunch of annoying voices, just happy-go-lucky, saying weird things all hours of the night and day, I would want to capture all those and get rid of them too.
In case there was like literally any doubt, which I can't imagine that there possibly could be, we watched The Smurfs, 1981. Good
Wow.
year. And we watched the episode The Smurf Colored Glasses, which I did pick because it is weird and brings up some questions. It's like extra weird. I mean, the whole thing is weird, but it's extra weird. So we are wrapping up Hanna-Barbera week this week. So The Smurfs is based off of a Belgian comic from the 50s, which is a wild premise. And the Smurfs, that were the Schtroumpfs, is actually they were kind of almost like a side bit, right? It was about these two characters that go on adventures, and they happen to come upon the Schtroumpfs, and that like became a whole thing. And like the original comic ran for a long time, and it has a bunch of things we talked about in the pre-show, how we were, Travis said he was never quite sure what Smurf meant. And there were, in fact, in the original comic, the village was divided between north and south, and they used the word Smurf differently. So the north side would call something a bottle Smurfer, and the south side would call it a Smurf opener. And no one would quite know what was going on. And this was actually commentary on the tensions between French and Dutch speaking people in Belgium, which is just wild. It's a wild time. Yeah.
Brought to you through the medium of comics, everybody.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But we have fast forwarded to 1981's Hanna-Barbera cartoon, The Smurfs, which outside of like Scooby-Doo, I think is probably the Hanna-Barbera cartoon that at the time I watched the most. Certainly it was the one that I watched closest to it being new.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it has obviously become a cultural touchstone. We still make new Smurf movies today for some inexplicable reason. But how familiar were you with the Smurfs back in the days? We'll start with Steven because that's always my wild card.
You never know.
I never know.
This is a grandma's house special for me. This is your grandma's house, and you just click, 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 click on the TV, and boom, there's the Smurfs at any point. I don't know if it's just when I was awake or allowed to watch TV, but that's what was on, Gargamel and the Smurfs. And I remember enjoying the Smurfs as a kid and being really into it. I thought they were great. I feel like I had some of the cheapest figures you could buy. You know, those like almost waxy plastic.
McDonald's toys at some point.
Maybe
too.
that's it.
I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, if there was a McDonald's toy, I probably had it because I was
It's
at
probably still in my parents'
Yeah.
basement and probably worth money now.
Yeah.
So that's
They had a McDonald's in our shopping mall, so that was, a
Nice.
common stop was the
Uh-huh.
McDonald's Happy Meal. So yeah, I remember the Smurfs. I love the Smurfs. I thought it was a wonderful piece of children's entertainment.
Audie, how about you?
Oh, watch Smurfs all the time. Definitely remember it. Remember all the different Smurfs, and Papa Smurf was the one wearing red. We'll get into it, but I forgot about Smurfette's origin.
We're gonna talk
Yeah,
about that
same.
because there's a lot of things about that.
So, like, we had Smurf stuff. I remember having stuffed Smurfs. We had a Smurf big wheel. That's how into it we were.
What?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Did we get the Transformers big wheel? No, but we had the Smurfs big wheel.
Ah,
That's a good
that's
one.
pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How about you, Trev?
I definitely remember the Smurfs. I remember watching the Smurfs a lot. We'll kind of get into some things that I do not remember about the Smurfs, or that my memories are very different. But yeah, I liked it. It was a great, it was a show that ran all the time on some channel somewhere, and
Yeah.
it was kind of just a staple.
So yeah, like you guys, there were a lot of things that I did not remember differently, starting with, so I remember the Smurf song. Like if you were like hum the Smurf theme, I was like, A plus can do no problem, even though I have not heard it in 35 years. Not a problem. I didn't remember the voiceover in which we are
No.
very clearly stating that Gargamel is the bad guy and the Smurfs are good, and that's the way it is. And if you're good, then maybe you can see a Smurf too. What?
Yeah. Where'd that
I
come
feel
I do
from?
not
like-
remember that.
No.
Yeah, I feel like that came in the later seasons, and just Max just has that. We saw it sort of with like how the Jetsons had
Sure.
like a specific opening, and they sort of stuck with that in the streaming version. And I
Yeah.
feel like they did that with this because I very distinctly remember the Smurfs always starting off with just the song, and that was it. And we didn't have the voiceover giving us exactly the layout of everything.
This is how you should feel while watching this
Yes.
show.
Okay.
It
Got
made me
it.
dig into it and watch some of the other intros. I was like, okay, I kind of remember. Okay, that's the one I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah, this feels like it was like the 1988-89 seasons
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
where they did that, which I did not realize that it ran for 9 seasons.
What
8
is
seasons,
this?
or
Another
whatever it was.
Hanna-Barbera unicorn that just kept going? They
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like
That is.
250 episodes
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
Smurfs.
No wonder I
Yeah.
remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. The other part of it is I didn't remember that Azrael was an orange cat, and I think that I mashed him and Mad Cat together in my head as like the
Mhm.
same cat. I didn't remember him being a weird orange cat.
Mhm.
But I'm into it. And then we gotta talk about Smurfette because this is a Smurfette heavy episode, which was a big thing. They call her the Smurfette.
Yes. I picked up on that too.
The
Mhm.
Smurfette. Wild.
I
was like,
never
what are we
remember that.
doing?
No,
Like that
No.
was so foreign to me.
I thought that was her
Called her
name.
the
Was
Smurfette.
just Smurfette.
I mean, they do call her that as her name too.
She
but
doesn't have a name. She's not
No.
Lady Smurf, Girl Smurf. She's the Smurfette.
the Smurfette.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular episode, it's her birthday. Which as we come to find out, is like she was created by Gargamel.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
What was extra
Was
confusing
she
for
a
me is
honeypot?
Yeah. She was a honeypot. That's a perfect
what
way
was-
of putting it.
God.
what was weird was I was scrolling through the episodes to get to the one that we watched, which was like episode 32 or 35 or whatever.
35.
The order is weird, yeah.
Mhm.
And the order was so weird because there were early episodes where you could clearly see Smurfette in the thumbnails. But episode like 32 is the introduction of Smurfette,
Yeah.
where she has black hair and she's created by Gargamel to entice the Smurfs, and then ends up helping them and becomes part of the village and Papa Smurf changes her hair to blonde.
Well,
And that
black
makes her-
hair means you're evil. I mean, we've known
Exactly.
that for years.
Mhm.
Yeah, obviously. So Gargamel is casting a spell to bring about a storm, and the storm is going to blow all of the Smurfs down the river and into his net.
Mhm.
Okay, if you're a
Yeah.
wizard with that
Yeah.
kind of power, that seems like a solid plan to me.
It's like a
Sure.
volleyball net. Did you see how big those
It is a
squares
volleyball
were?
net,
Like,
yeah.
it's stupid.
They're just gonna. I mean,
You're just gonna smurf right through.
Yeah, they're
they
gonna
are gonna
smurf.
smurf right through.
Yep.
I did put this on Twitter, but whatever you do, do not make us saying the word Smurf into a drinking game. You will die.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
just like a say. It's from direct from us as a safety issue. Please don't do.
You'll become a Smurfing alcoholic.
It's not good. And so it's Smurfette Day, and so everyone is celebrating Smurfette because why wouldn't you? I guess you don't have a lot else going on these days, and so they're bringing her presents, and so Handy Smurf really likes Smurfette somehow more than every other Smurf really likes Smurfette, but it's fine. So he decides that he's going to make Smurf colored glasses. Now, here's a little insight into another reason why I picked this episode. When I was in 2nd grade, I did a play called The Princess and the Rose-Colored Glasses, and I was the princess, and I had rose-colored glasses, and it was a big deal. It was my theater debut, and so that was near and dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So the Smurf-colored glasses, that his plan is he will give them to Smurfette. She will put them on. She will look at him and find him appealing.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to ignore the problematic nature of this that we would find in maybe today's society. Like, that's a little manipulative, Handy.
It sounds like you're trying to get her drunk so she thinks you're attractive, but using glasses.
This is what I'm saying, right? These are roofie glasses, and maybe don't.
Yeah, you should do that, buddy.
Because as we find out in this episode, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Smurf ethics, and we need to set some groundwork. Where are you, Papa Smurf? Come on.
So Handy uses some things he learned from Papa Smurf about how rainbows make magic, and he makes these magic glasses. Great.
Quote unquote
And-
magic glass.
Magic glasses. So
I mean, look,
they're-
credit to them for just doing the whole hand wavy magic thing. Like rainbows
fine.
make
Mhm.
magic.
That's fine.
Stick the glasses in the rainbow. Boom, magic.
Done.
Mm-hmm.
That's
all you
fine. I
need.
have zero problem.
No, that's how it
That
works.
is-
That at all.
I have a lot of problems. That one was
Yeah.
not one of them.
Completely accept this component of the show.
So they're having a dance for Smurfette, and Grumpy Smurf hates dancing. Grumpy Smurf. I feel
Oh,
like we all have a Grumpy Smurf friend, right? And you
Yeah,
just want to,
definitely.
you just sometimes you just need them to just go sit in
Yeah.
your mushroom for a little while.
Mhm.
and
You
let the
just
rest
go
of us
away,
enjoy
Like,
ourselves.
just
gonna
you
say.
could choose to not say anything and just
yeah,
just
you
let
could
other
just
people.
not. You can just go home. You
Yeah,
don't. We're not making you be here, man.
I will say though, that's the job I want, is to be the voice actor for Grumpy Smurf. Because all you have to do is just come in.
I know.
Your
like,
lines are just "I hate" and insert
whatever.
word here.
Mhm.
Mhm. So Handy gives the glasses to Smurfette. And he's like, "You should put them on." And she's like, "Oh, they're great. Thank you so much." And then like the storm from Gargamel is rolling in. And Papa Smurf's like, "That storm doesn't look good." And Handy's like, "You should put on the glasses." And like he won't let go. And she's like, "Oh no, there's a hurricane." And he's like, "Smurfette, put the
Yeah.
glasses
Smurfette,
on."
there's a dangerous storm coming. Wear the glasses, girl.
I feel like if she put the glasses on, as we see what happens when she puts the glasses on, I feel like it would have looked like a very lovely rainstorm or something, you
Yeah.
know, or it just would have been like
Mhm.
flowers.
I don't think that was what he was after, though. I don't think Handy was
No,
considering.
no.
No.
So, so they rush into the Smurfs rush into the caves to get away from the Gargamel hurricane. But Smurfette and Handy do not make it, and they're blown away. Okay. So, Papa Smurf
Gargamel's
counts all the
plan
Smurfs.
is actually working.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
little bit. It is. He gets all their houses,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. I feel like I'm starting to think that maybe that's what Mom did to start building her fairy gardens at her house. Like, I think that maybe that's where all those little houses came from. I think she took them from actual fairies. I might have to have an intervention.
Yeah.
So she does I'm trying to think of when she actually puts these glasses on, because she does put them on before she gets caught in the net.
Right. She's riding in the
Yeah.
wind
Right.
and then she
Yeah,
puts
yeah,
them
yeah.
on and then she's like, "Oh, this is a nice time."
This is nice. Yeah, she's like
Yeah.
floating down the
Yeah.
river on a leaf.
Yeah.
So she goes past like a spider web and this
Oh
big
yeah,
creepy spider,
that's
and
what
then
it is. Yeah, the
she
handsome
sees the spider,
spider
and it's like
with a bow. Bows
Yeah.
are important in Smurfette's vision of what's attractive,
Mhm.
Mhm.
apparently. So Smurfette gets hung up on Gargamel's net. For a minute, Gargamel's like, I already had this one. Like this one's mine. I
Yeah.
don't what.
I made this.
Great. And so they're gonna go on a rescue mission for Handy and Smurfette, and the Smurfs that Papa Smurf chooses to take with him. Okay, Brainy Smurf, fine, no problem there. I mean, he's kind of a smart aleck, but that's fine. Grouchy Smurf, okay, he's kind of a bummer, but sure.
It's not great for group morale, but sure.
Not
No.
great
come
for
on.
group morale, but
He's
all
like
right.
the anti-bard.
And then we chose Clumsy. Now,
Look.
if I've got 98 Smurfs to choose from, and I'm going on a dangerous rescue mission that I don't know what I'm going to face, I'm not bringing Clumsy. Unless my hope is that if we need to outrun something, Clumsy's the one that's not going to make it.
Right.
I don't have to outrun him. I just have to outrun
Yeah.
Clumsy. That's it. I mean, maybe Papa Smurf feels like now's your chance to shine, Clumsy. Now maybe if I take you on a quest that's relatively safe, we've duped Gargamel before. He's not an unknown. This is your chance. So Papa Smurf is just giving him the opportunity to be the hero he knows he can be.
Yeah.
there you
But
go.
his
Smurf
name
logic.
is literally Clumsy, so it's I
Clumsy.
don't know if this is gonna change.
Yeah.
No, probably not. Yeah, Hefty was asleep.
Yeah.
So Gargamel's got Smurfette, and Smurfette thinks Gargamel is real handsome. And we have not reached handsome Squidward levels of handsome on this one. Handsome Gargamel is like a 6.
I felt pretty
fine.
I felt pretty offended that they gave him hair and that's what made him handsome. I'm like, come on.
That's a little rude.
Bald is beautiful, you jerks.
Yeah. So Smurfette, they get him back to Gargamel's house. Smurfette will not shut up about how cute Azrael is with a bow and how
Mhm.
handsome Gargamel is. And now here's the thing, right? Is like she still knows it's him. Right? Doesn't she say that it's him?
Yeah, I think
like
so.
she knows it's
Oh
him.
yeah.
She keeps calling him Gargy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gargy.
she's
Mhm.
real shallow.
Mhm.
So and Gargamel is like, would you just shut up? Which is the whole Smurf thing. That's literally all he wants, which
Yeah.
I understand. And so Gargamel's like, oh, well, all right, well, this is fine. I'll just turn her back into my Smurf, and then I'll send her back out to Honeypot again. That's fine. This is fine. This take 2. Sure. So yeah. So Handy finds a piece of Smurfette's dress. That's how they know that she went this way, and they see Gargamel's giant footsteps because he's apparently the only human around. Fine.
Only human in the forest.
Yeah. And so he's like, oh, I hope she's not wearing those glasses right now. Handy, what do you think's gonna happen? Other than her irritating Gargamel saying that he's handsome, which is what is going on right now. Handy, what are you really afraid of?
Yeah.
Because that's super awkward.
Yeah, Handy, what were those glasses for again, dude?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
The purpose.
So Gargamel is like in the middle of mixing up his potion to turn arguably to dye Smurfette's hair black again. And, and he gets a knock at the door, and he's like, no. And then came something else I definitely did not remember, which was Big Mouth the Ogre.
No clue.
I was like, who?
No memory of that at all.
Nah, I have
And there is
no
no
idea.
intro, so I'm assuming that this is a character that we have seen before.
It is. I did remember him. I was like, oh, Big Mouth. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Random, but okay.
Yeah, so Big Mouth is hungry. That's a surprise. And so Gargamel's like, fine, just go in the kitchen. Like, just in the cabinet's right there, please. I'm doing science magic.
That honestly though, that
Mhm.
was kind of my favorite part of this episode. Is like this is a normal occurrence for
Yeah.
Gargamel. He's just,
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Mouth shows up and he's just like, the cupboard's full. I'm busy. Just go eat whatever you want. I don't
It
care.
was Jerry and Kramer before Jerry
I
and
was gonna
Kramer.
say, yeah.
Like,
That's where they got the idea
Snapple.
from.
So Gargamel is like mad. Like, Gargamel makes Smurfette take off the glasses, and then she's like, "Oh no, actually, you're hideous." And now I'm upset. Girl,
It's
come
Smurfing wore
on.
off.
Yeah. The Smurfy. So it's bad. Like, it's this whole, so Handy and Papa Smurf and the others, they barge in, and their brilliant plan is they get Big Mouth to put on the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
So Big Mouth puts on the glasses, and he looks at Gargamel, and what he finds attractive is, of course, food.
Mhm.
And poor
Food.
Azrael looks like a suckling pig, but is still a cat, and
Mm-hmm.
with pineapple. I did notice the pineapple. And so they have to run away from Big Mouth. So now, great, everybody's safe, and we're back at the village, and we are gonna finish Smurfette Day.
Mhm.
Come hell or high Smurf.
Yeah,
And-
we Smurfing are.
So Handy thinks that Smurfette's gonna be mad at him, and she should be, but she's not. And she's like, well, Handy, I like you just the way you are. Which leads to the question that maybe Handy didn't get his name in the way that I think that he did originally. And so she like gives him a kiss on the cheek
Mm-hmm.
and says that she doesn't, I don't need to wear glasses to like you, because I like you just how you are. And he's like, I'm gonna make you a present. And he dashes off, runs over Grouchy, who ends the episode by saying, I hate getting flattened.
I'm
Oh,
telling you,
geez.
that is the
Weird
voice acting gig to have, is Grouchy Smurf.
It's a good
Oh,
one.
Grouchy.
What you do?
There's a lot that I just don't even know. I don't even know what to say about.
What is the message we're telling our children with this episode of the Smurfs? What are we sending?
I mean, I think the message we're supposed to get is that people will like you for who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, if they don't, that's their problem.
Sure,
Yeah,
but
or if they
the
don't
message that I got
drug them.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, I got the message that that good-looking people are good and ugly people are bad.
Mm-hmm. And then if
At
I
least-
make
at
a
least
habit,
to Smurfette.
if I
That's a
make a
very
habit
80s
of barging
message.
into someone's house and eating their food, then it'll become normal and okay. And I can do that anytime I want,
Mhm.
which is kind of true. Like, you ever get over to your friend's house enough times and they just
Yeah.
accept that you're eating sandwiches?
Yeah.
You're like, this is what I'm here to do. And you're like,
My friend Doug's mom, like one time I asked for something, like, and I mean this was
Mhm.
years into our friendship, and I like asked for something, and she's like, "Why are you just go? Why are you asking?
Go in my
Just go.
kitchen, make the
Mhm.
food. It's
Make the
fine.
food. Use the fancy cinnamon sugar in the Bigfoot shaker." We did not have at my house.
No.
Wild.
There was so much
Um,
about this show I don't remember that I
Right?
felt like I was watching a brand new show that I'd never seen before. Like, from start to finish, like, what, voiceover? And then, like, I didn't remember the Smurfette thing that Gargamel made Smurfette. I didn't remember Big
Mhm.
Mouth. By the way, I was trying to come up with theories on why Papa Smurf has red pants and a red hat. And like, why is he the leader and why is it red? And all I could come up with was that his pants were stained with the blood of his enemies. And that he's the great leader. And that's the only way that you could distinguish in the Smurf tribes, like who wins is like through some bloody contest. And I like this universe that I've created in my brain, and I'm going to keep it.
Well, and you have to be the only Smurf in the village that is capable of growing facial hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And where do more Smurfs come from? I have that question too. But magic. I think we can hand wavy.
Because we do eventually get to like Baby Smurf.
Baby Smurf.
Baby
and where did
Smurf,
Baby Smurf come from?
Grandpa
Smurfette is the
Smurf.
only
My theory.
female Smurf.
My theory.
For a while.
They live. They live in mushrooms. So I am gonna say that they are fungus based and it is spores.
Oh,
Spores.
that's a good
would make the
one.
most sense.
That's what I choose to believe.
I like that. Yeah. They just like they grow out of the mushroom and then they just like plop off.
Yeah.
Like Last of Us cordyceps,
is-
but cute.
I was gonna say this is the children's version of The Last of Us. Great.
Yeah. 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 No problem.
They are all fun guys. Thanks, Phil. That was a good one.
I will also say that I got only a little bit of Orange Cat energy from Azrael.
Yeah,
there's not.
Azrael's
He seems
nice.
fairly
Smarter.
confident.
He's clever.
Fairly
Yeah, he's-
competent. Yeah.
Fairly clever Orange Cat, which is I'm not used to.
Most orange cats are not that.
No. I did, obviously I recognized some voices, and then looking through the list of voice actors that had been part of the Smurfs over its 9-year run, and it was basically just everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point or another, every voice actor you can imagine that was active during the 80s was in an episode of the Smurfs, at least one. But Don Messick is Papa Smurf.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Scooby-Doo voiced Papa Smurf, and Dick Dastardly obviously is the voice of Gargamel.
Yes, that's why
So
he
that was-
sounded so familiar. It was very recent that I heard his voice.
That was
then.
recent. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I know this one, and I couldn't think of from where.
But like I was looking through there, and I mean there was Townsend Coleman, Rob Paulson, like everybody that was voice acting at that time
I saw.
wandered through and did a voice.
I saw it mentioned somewhere that Renee Aubergenois did voices at one
Yeah.
point, like later in the series. Because why not? There was a Timber Smurf. That's good. Wonder what he
Right.
does. Oh yeah, logging. I question all of these voices now all of these names now because yeah, I don't know.
How would you like to be named based off of something like that?
That's-
Because
And
you
when
have
do
like
get named.
you have like Chef Smurf and Handy Smurf, but then there's Clumsy Smurf,
Yeah.
Vanity Smurf.
Vanity
Jokey
Smurf.
I think he likes it though.
No, Vanity
Yeah, he
definitely.
does.
likes
Yeah. Like what?
it. Yeah,
would-
Jokey Smurf. I remember.
Yeah.
Do you get to
Yeah.
name yourself, or do other people name you?
This is
Like,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Weepy Smurf? Yeah.
Like, I mean,
feel
because
that, honestly.
this isn't the first society we've ever heard of that has names based on some attribute or some thing other than like
Sure.
a made up word, as a name usually is. So I mean, it could be taken from somewhere. I like to believe that they get named by someone else. Once they
Yeah.
start exhibiting some trait, like
Yeah.
Clumsy Smurf. He's not gonna name himself Clumsy. That seems rude. Now, Papa Smurf should reject that and be like, "No, we're not gonna let you hurt yourself like that. Come on, man."
Dimebag Smurf.
that's
Yeah.
a
My
good one.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's like, if your last name's Baker or
Yeah, that's a
Farmer
thing,
or
right?
whatever.
Yeah, Smith.
Mhm.
There's
Except
a lot of
it's your
Smiths.
first name.
Right.
And that's
Yeah,
it.
except that this is their first name. Like that made sense because you wouldn't have necessarily a surname or a family name.
Right.
And that's how that happened. Was like, oh, that person is the baker in the town. That's John, the
Mhm.
baker,
Yeah.
who just became John Baker.
we
and-
just dropped the unlike Smurfette.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Apparently on to the
Yeah, she kept her the. Well, she
And
didn't
then
get
at
a
some
name.
point we get Smurflings. I
Mhm.
don't
Yep.
know what those are, but apparently they make like was it Sasset? Sassy?
Yeah,
Something.
Sassette.
Mhm.
Sassette.
Yes.
Because they're the kid Smurfs to make it more kid friendly somehow.
You even get more kid
Because
friendly
it
than what it
was
already
based off
is.
a Belgian comic about
Right.
cultural friction.
Speaking of being kid friendly, I did know kids when I was in junior high and high school that were not allowed to watch the Smurfs as children because of the use of magic. You couldn't watch the Smurfs because there was magic in it. I'm like, after watching it, I can think of 100 other reasons you shouldn't watch the
Yeah,
Smurfs.
sure.
Yep.
But if we want to go with magic is in it, then yeah, okay. Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
Whatever.
Sure.
Float your boat, weirdos.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the 80s. It was the time of the Satanic Panic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, Gargamel's a Satanist. I bet he plays Dungeons and Dragons with his cat.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Big Mouth are having a
Him and Big
campaign
Mouth.
with Azrael.
Oh, that'd be the worst game ever. It's like, Big Mouth, can you come up with anything else other than just come over and eat my snacks? Like, can we? You got a character in mind today? Snacks. Also, I really love that Big Mouth was just, he picked and choose whether he used first person or not. Like, he would yell, Big Mouth hungry, Big Mouth want to do this. Then he'd go, I'm a what? And I'm like, wait a minute. We got continuity problems here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Pick one, Big Mouth. Come on.
Big mouth with small face. Because if glasses that fit on a Smurf fit on him, good enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are we? Magic. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, they're magic. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No problem.
Oh,
Face to face.
Skeezix agrees the Satanic Panic was why they weren't allowed to watch Smurfs or Power Rangers. Or anything with magic. Satanic Panic caused a lot of problems.
It really did.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you two quick names that showed up in one episode of the Smurfs, and I wanna find out who is the more random name to be in a Smurfs episode. Okay, and there's a lot here. There's like Edie McClurg did one
Sure.
episode.
Gene Hackman.
All right. No, but we have Ed Begley Jr.
All right.
or George Takei.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with Ed Begley Jr. I think because George Takei. I mean, he was around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bagley was like he was more of the random guy you'd see in a live action thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or Clive Revell or Revel.
I don't know that
I
one.
mean, just some random name. Brock Peters, Tony J. Like, it's just the most random names pop up in this list, and there's a lot of them.
Got 100 some odd Smurfs. You got to voice them with somebody.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Hollywood casting call. Anybody got a few minutes to swing by Ted Turner's house?
Want to come by, say a couple lines?
Video this week. All right.
Yeah. Everybody who does lines gets a voice role in Bison. That's what Ted Turner's all
feel
about.
like-
You know?
I feel like Sloppy Smurf falls into the same category as Pigpen, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, what?
Mhm.
Great, thanks. I appreciate that. That's great. Thanks.
I didn't know there was a sloppy Smurf.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I think what's fascinating about the Smurfs is the enduring nature of the Smurfs, because
Right?
it is definitely an acid trip of a concept,
Mhm.
and for it to not only run as a comic strip, okay, I get that. There's
Sure.
some weird comic strips out there, and it becomes a cartoon show, and it runs for a lot longer than I remembered it running for. And it's certainly one of the weirder concepts for a cartoon. But it's still going today. There were two like big budget live action Smurfs movies that have
Yeah.
been made. Two of them.
And there's
And a
there's-
new series.
currently an animated series in Europe.
But why?
It's been translated. It's on Netflix now.
Oh, is
too.
it on Netflix now?
Yeah. I watched a little bit of it.
It's crazy though. Like how does this concept endure and keep going and keep getting made?
Think
And
it's
like the
our
live
fault.
action movies, though the voice acting and names they got to be Smurfs in that are crazy. Like it's weird when you think about like Garfield lasting as long as it did, because it's just a comic about a fat cat and his owner.
Yeah.
But there's something there that like, just normal people can kind of relate to, like talking to your cat and your cat having an attitude and all that.
I wouldn't know.
But of course not. But like this is so weird and so out there. It's like there were other shows and other concepts close to this and a lot of ripoffs. Hanna-Barbera did a bunch of different Smurfs type things. Snorks didn't last
Yeah.
for 40 years, and we're not still
Oh.
talking about, new versions of the Snorks out there, and those were basically just underwater Smurfs.
Yeah.
Everybody's like us for. They remember it being better than it is. So when they hear a Smurfs movie's coming out, like, I remember the Smurfs as a kid. That was great. So that makes money. And everybody had watched it. And they're like, all right, my kids should see the Smurfs. But if they were to take a step back and go, let me go watch the Smurfs. This is one of those, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but this is one of those where I'm like, maybe don't revisit your childhood sometimes. Maybe just leave it back there where you can remember it.
Well, I mean,
better.
unless maybe you enjoy some recreational, mood enhancement,
Right.
and then maybe you
Mhm.
do go and maybe you learn a little about yourself and all of us.
But I also find it I find it crazy that we've been talking a lot this month about Hanna-Barbera having all of these shows that ran for like 13 episodes and then just get rid of it, right? They just threw ideas against the wall. They're like, sure, do a run of Wacky Races, and you did the season of that and then it went away. Or you'd have Magilla Gorilla or whatever it was. Smurfs is the one that outlasted all of them. Like Smurfs and Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those two. And Scooby-Doo, I kind of like
it had
going
substance.
back and watching those. It did, and it was good. It's still good.
It's still good, yeah.
Yeah.
Repetitive.
It's crazy that that's what
we're
made it.
good.
Sure.
The thing
But
for
it's just
Smurfs
crazy.
it's Smurfs. It's just they're cute. That's it. They're
Yeah.
so stinking cute. They can get away with anything,
Yeah.
including date drugs and
Smurfing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just doing some Smurf.
Yeah.
It's just so Smurfing weird.
I think that's the other part of it, right? Is we love that. I mean, so
Yeah.
the whole thing of the whole concept of their language came about when the creator was having dinner with a friend and couldn't remember the word for salt and said, pass me the strumpf. And so then they just started putting it in places like the Smurfs do, like we do, and then that was like the birth of the characters of the Smurfs.
So what you're saying is
And
drugs
so-
were involved in the creation.
I mean,
I'm
Strumpf.
pretty certain.
Mhm.
Strumpf.
I do love a Strumpf waffle on top of my coffee from time to time.
Yeah, buddy.
buddy.
Yeah, Smurfs are weird. So yeah, I guess that's the next part, right? Is the do you go back and visit? Because I'm gonna tell you, like yeah, it was weird, and yeah, I have a lot of questions, and yeah, there were some questionable choices that were made, through in looking in 2023 at things, but I still I really enjoy it because I watched a few to try and like get one, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
this is a weird one. Let's go here. Oh, you know what? I kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of fun to go back and watch the Smurfs. Ani, what about you? How you feel about Smurfs?
Yeah, they're fine. I feel like at this point, I've watched them. I've got my nostalgia kick from it. I'm good. I don't
Sure.
feel like it's something that necessarily needs to be continued to share. There's so many. I've seen so many different kinds of cartoons and animation and stuff these days with my boys and stuff. It's like, yeah, Smurfs had their day. They're good. They can stay
I was
back
going to
there.
ask, you're not going to show the boys the Smurfs? You're not going to see if they want to go down
Nah.
to Smurf Village?
Nah, I mean, like I said, it's been on Netflix and stuff. Anything they want to see, they will watch. So they have not attempted to watch Smurfs. So
How about you, Trav? How you feeling about these Smurfs? You
I'm
feeling
kinda,
Smurfy
like-
about it, or you
I'm a
Smurfed
little
out?
smurf. I'm a little Smurfy about it. Kind of just sort of on the Smurf. In terms of like, I won't actively avoid it. Like I wouldn't be like Smurfs. I want nothing to do with that. If I needed like background noise, it's something that I could throw on and just let it run because it doesn't
Every now and
matter
then
at
just be like,
all.
what just happened?
Yeah, every now and then just look over or be like, oh, that was strange. Or wait, hold on. What the Smurf is going on? But outside of that, it's fine. I will, however, anytime I paint anything blue, talk about it being liquid Smurf.
Ooh,
We
I
do,
like
That's
that.
how I judge my blue.
in Warhammer the more derogatory term for the Ultramarines are Smurfs. They're little blue guys.
Yeah.
And they're terrible. So that's the Smurfs, and that is Hanna-Barbera month, which
Yeah.
was so much fun.
We
Mhm.
Smurfing
Holy
did it.
heck, I loved all these cartoons.
That was great.
Great. So we put up a poll, and you
Mhm.
all
We did.
voted, and I don't know that I would have seen this coming at all, but you all picked sci-fi shows.
Sci-Fi shows.
Mhm.
Damn, I am so excited.
Yeah,
Old sci-fi is great.
it's the best
Oh,
sci-fi.
and it's such a great open-ended topic. We're going to go in a whole. I already can tell we're going in a lot of different directions. I mean, that was the fun thing with Hanna-Barbera, right? Was we had
Yeah.
such a breadth of Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and we didn't begin to scratch the surface of what Hanna-Barbera has
No,
available.
no.
We did
Now we're
this
moving on
bad.
to just sci-fi, like this, and I get to start us off, and we're going weird right away.
Yeah.
So be ready for that, because we are going to start off with a favorite of mine, Farscape.
Out.
So get ready for
Ooh.
some Australian space Muppets, people.
Look at Audie.
Nice.
I was like, yes.
That's what's coming next week. We are going to
Mhm.
watch season 1, episode 17, Through the Looking Glass. And I
All
picked
right.
that one in part because it has, it's far enough into the first season where one of my favorite side characters has joined the crew of the ship, and it's
Yes.
going to get weird, folks. So get ready.
Excited. I'll
I
never
can't
remember
wait.
to say this when we actually talk about the sci-fi shows. So the thing that I love about old sci-fi is that it was way more optimistic than now. Like now we're like, oh no, we can't do anything right and everything is terrible. And so the future is just a hot mess. Whereas back
Mhm.
then we were like, we're gonna have flying cars. We're going
We're not going to have any
space.
money.
There's gonna be
Everybody's
no
going to have
money and everything's
everything.
gonna be replicated and we are gonna be space socialists and it's gonna be awesome. And now we're like, so whales are attacking yachts and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the future. we
There's
designed.
entire countries are on fire. Have you seen that? That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
How's your smoke cloud today? Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Future,
Great.
can you
Yeah,
breathe? No, not really. Oh, okay, yeah. Neither can we. 800 miles
115
away.
in Phoenix. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you
So
know,
yeah.
we'll adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
We have
Waterworld,
iPads,
they
so
they grew gills, you know.
Yeah.
We could do
Mhm.
that.
No
Yeah.
problem. Sci-fi. I'm so excited.
This is so
I love
I
nice.
can't
sci-fi.
wait to see what you guys choose too. I'm
I'm
excited
pumped.
to see it.
Yeah, this can be good.
It's going
Uh,
to be fun.
So yeah, very excited about this. If you want to get a hold of us, there's like a bunch of ways you can do that. We are still clinging to Twitter at Those Days Show. You can email us at thosewerethedays@gmail.com, maybe.
Yeah,
Nailed
that's
it.
very confident. Nailed it. Got it.
Good job.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Ship it.
And then or you join the Two Dorks Discord.
Yeah, at
We're in there.
twodorks.net/discord.
And,
Get on
you
in
can
it.
hang out with us.
And now I'm on the threads. I'm on the
Yeah,
mastodons,
there
and
you
every, everybody's on threads because you could press a button.
Real thin.
Mm-hmm.
You just pressed a button and you were there, and so were all your friends.
there.
Yeah, that was easy.
Great. Okay.
Whoopie-doo.
right.
Oh, Phil emailed. Hold on a second. Did he email
Oh.
for this? Hold
Oh,
on.
snap.
Hold
Hold on.
Wait, we
Hold
gotta
on, we're bad
Wow.
call it an audible.
at this.
We got caught with our Smurfs down.
We did. Oh, this is for the Smurfs. Okay. Should I read
Alright.
that now or later?
Yeah.
Should I read it now?
Yeah, no, go for it.
We read the Smurfs. Oh yeah, because we need to read the Smurfs now. All right. Well, hold on. I'm trying not to explode Discord. I don't even know if can you see us still? No.
Yes.
Huh? What you can? Okay.
Oh, no. No.
No.
Okay. Well, if I put Firefox up, it takes you guys away from the. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right, it says, "Hello, TWTD crew. Just want to let you know I'm loving your current series on cartoons, and you're all incredible people." Thank you. I mean,
Aw.
we try. I'm including everyone in that statement, even Travis's beard, which I can only assume is sentient, and is the fifth Beatle of the show. I wanted to share my go-to thoughts on Smurfs in preparation for Amy bringing it to the show, My wife was a child in Germany when the Smurfs were on TV, and in German they are known as Die Schlumpfs. And to this day, when someone references Smurfs, her brain corrects it to Schlumpfs. That's cool. Thank you, Phil. That's awesome. On the other side of the world, at the same time, I was watching a black and white TV. My family didn't get a tiny color TV until about 1983 to 84, so I never knew that the Smurfs were supposed to be blue. The shade of gray they were on my set made me assume they were brown for some reason. Then one day at school, I went into a different classroom for my speech therapy, and there was a poster with Smurfs on it, and they were blue, and my brain smurfing melted. My world fell apart, and everything I thought I knew for certain about the universe was a lie. As far as I was concerned, up was down, left was right, dogs chased mice, and cats caught frisbees. My innocence was gone, and I couldn't unsee it. I don't think about Smurfs much. Once I aged out of the cartoon, it was just a weird thing for little kids, and I didn't think about it much. But whenever they're referenced, my brain and my wife's brain go straight to these odd experiences we had around this show. High fives and fist bumps to all of you. Keep up the great work on the show, Phil. That
Amazing.
was a great
It's
email.
so good.
If you are looking to send emails, do it like this. Or,
Yes.
Or don't. I mean, really take anything. I mean, one word, a sentence, it's fine. But you won't get celebrated like Phil just gets. You get what you worked for. I'm just saying. Little effort. That was good, Phil. Thank you very much for the email.
But I can't blame you. I mean, tiny woodland creatures that live in mushrooms,
Yeah.
there's no way they're bright blue.
No.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, except
Oh, that's so
Smurf it.
good.
Smurf it, yeah. Again, who cares? It's hard to sell brown toys of little
It is
people.
hard to
Like
sell
it's,
It is.
brown
Mhm.
yeah, little Smurfy Smurfs. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, until next week and Farscape. What? I'm so excited.
This is gonna be great.
For myself, for Audie, for Steven, and for Travis, this has been Those Were the Days, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
bye.
Smurfing great.
All right. All
Good stuff.
done.
Nice.
I love Phil's adjust the antenna.
This is